Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on August 14th, 2021 at approximately 6:06 a.m. PST. Now, I did sort of stumble over that, but I can live with it. Okay, as I said a long time ago, I am definitely not perfect. There are a lot of things that I bring to the table at this point. But before I get into it, okay, two things to keep in mind. One, well, probably more than that. One, this is a live recording, meaning that when I get done, all I do is go back and check to make sure I got the date right and then I carry forward. That said, do I expect you to believe what I tell you? No, not at all. But I did return to bring one message to all of existence. Quite literally, that working together we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to our channel, okay, so that you can get to the rest of the videos. And remember to hit the what's it called, alert button, the alert bell, to let you know when the new ones come out, because I am doing my best to get them out once a day. Now, my goal with the videos is simple: to show everybody the tools that I personally use to make sure to change the energy in my life to make my life better. Okay, to bring a sense of peace, a sense of order to it. This is ultimately, when you think about it, you ask yourself one question: are you content with the way your world is right this moment? Okay, if the answer is yes, then you're probably not coming back to listen to me later. If the answer is no, if there's even one aspect of your life that you're not content with, then that is what I've returned to bring to you. Now, I am not the only person that has insights. However, if you're listening to me, the odds are that means you haven't found the one that fits for you. Just like there are so many religions out there, they don't fit it. Each one does not fit everyone. But one thing I have found with my research, okay, and I'll use the term a little loosely, I found in my journeys, okay, that virtually every religion, every spiritual guideline, every self-help group that teaches essentially the same thing. Okay, and don't just take my word for it. But these are the three laws that I personally promote. Okay, they're the only three that I pay attention to. But compare these three laws to whatever guidelines you're living under, whether they're religious, spiritual, family, legal, doesn't matter. Compare them. Okay, the three laws that I promote are, okay, and these are the first three laws I ever came across. Literally ever came across. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay, now take a look at whatever guidelines you're using and compare them to those three. If you come across one that will not fit into one of those three, absolutely drop me a line at the bottom of this video or at any one of the contact points below. Okay, now the only thing I will absolutely guarantee to you is I will not lie to you to make you feel better. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide. Some people call me psychic. Some people call me an alien specialist or a UFO specialist. Okay, but in all fairness, a whole lot more people call me a lot of other things, some of which are repeatable in impolite company. Okay, now, here's the thing. Every single tool that I offer, if it applies to my life, I'm using it. Okay, I don't bother with this idea of, oh, you should do this, and then I go off and do my own thing. A prime example, and this is not picking on anybody, this is just the way I've seen it. Okay, now, to be clear, my opinion is my opinion. It cannot be wrong. The facts, the conclusions can be, and therefore, if you see a flaw in what I'm looking at, let me know. Am I still learning? Yes, and this is why I refuse to bill myself as an expert. Okay, that's one of the reasons anyway. But The reality is, I've been doing this, and like I started working in these fields when I was born. The day I was born, I found out. Not only did I find out what death was, I met the Grand Council of 12. Okay, I ended up becoming an active medium. Psychic phenomenon and what have you have all been part of my life, including interactions with military laboratories. Now, people call it NDE, near death experience. I went way past the near death experience. Okay, before I was 10, I was clinically dead 4 times. Since then, at least 4 that were not clinical. The difference between clinical and not clinical is clinical required medical intervention. Okay, now I'm not here to prove one way or the other, but I am here to ask you one question. Are you happy with your life the way it is? Are you living in a world where you're looking forward with a little bit of hope, a little bit of hope, some sort of an idea as to where your life can go? Not not this idea of when I die I'm going to go to hell and burn, or I'm never going to get anywhere in my life. I'm going to struggle for the rest of my life. How about this one? The elites are controlling the world. Or better yet, aliens are going to invade us at some point. We're going to be killed because aliens are going to invade. Well, there's one truth to the whole 9 yards, as near as I've found. On the whole, people, things, places die. Okay. Now, I will go into that, in at another time. But right now, the real pertinent question is, are you content living in fear of whatever? Okay. You have one of two choices. You can live in fear, or you can do something about altering the path that your energy is on, because fear is brought about by a number of things. A lot of it is by societal programming. Okay. You're taught that you have to have a lot of money to be happy. You've got to have all these material things to be happy. I will tell you this. There is no question the luxuries in life make things a little more enjoyable in most cases. Lord knows if I could actually get ahead and do absolutely nothing to get ahead, I'd probably be content. The problem with that is I get bored. Now that may be only my flaw, I don't know. But I have found out this. Since I started paying dominant attention to my finances, to the energy in my house, and not necessarily in this order, okay, to my health, since I started doing that, I've been feeling better and better. Now, one of the mistakes I've been making with people, okay, with people face to face, and if you see me doubling back over my words, well, quite frankly, I am talking to you, but I've got no feedback, so I have a tendency of doubling back on myself. That's the way I am. If you ever meet me in person, which you're more than welcome to, I'm not that hard to find. Okay. But if you ever do, you'll find I talk the same way. The only thing is, if I'm standing up, I don't tend to talk as much with my hands. But I do double back over myself. But I found out something really neat. You can think about desiring your life to change all you'd like. If you don't get up and do something about it, it's not going to change. But then, when you think about it, the best tools in the world are useless if you don't stand up and if you don't pick the tools up and use them. The tools I'm offering, not only do I personally use them, okay, and that's where the caution is with whoever you're following, okay, I'm not saying that everybody has to do what I'm talking about, by no means, but I will tell you this. If you're following a thought line or an education line where the people that are teaching you, the people that are leading the group, are not following what they're telling you. Primary example, this is an obvious one. Governments come out and say, you must follow, run a balanced budget. Business people say, run a balanced budget. Well, that's a cute thought. But how many businesses and how many governments do you know of that actually run a balanced budget? Now, do not get me wrong. We could get really sidetracked on that one. Governments, regardless of what they are necessary. Society has to have a government in place. Okay. If you're really curious about what can happen without seeing the devastation that comes with it, read, I believe it was George Orwell, wrote a book way back in the 70s called Animal Farm. I think it was George Orwell. I know the book was Animal Farm. If you want to get a look at, if you desire to get a look at what can happen when a government is overthrown without watching the chaos that goes with it, read that book. Now, I am not much of a reader. Okay, I'm a writer. Science fiction, science fantasy, self-help, reference manual, poetry, and children's. Okay, so yes, I've got a wide array. I'm actually looking at a sheet here beside me on the monitor right here on the past lives that I've documented, and if I remember correctly, what do we got here? 1, 2, knockout 2, meaning we have 21. We have actually 21 past lives that I've personally documented and I'm starting to expand on. Okay, now, so do I have a wide array of personal knowledge? The answer is yes. Am I a researcher? No. Okay, I simply have 58 years of life experience. Does this make me the smartest person on the planet? No, quite frankly, sometimes I think I'm one of the dumbest or one of the least educated. I did graduate, but I don't put a lot of weight behind that given what I'm seeing happen with graduations. You know, with people graduating, especially today. Okay, I did graduate. I did not get anywhere in where it came to college. I ended up failing college. Well, failing. Didn't get my degree, that's for certain. In any event, the question you have to ask yourself is, are you content with the way your life is right this moment? Because here's where we balance the whole playing field. Every single entity in existence, okay, every one of them is right here, right now. Okay, it's just that simple. So you're all starting on the same block. How you got here, what you've accumulated materially speaking up until this point, what kind of emotional baggage you're bringing with you, or what kind of emotional boon you're bringing with you. Okay, whatever that is, okay, you're still right here, right now. And this is the only time in your life that you will ever be able to do anything to change the way your life is going. Now, the reality from my understanding is this. You cannot change what's already happened. You cannot alter any of it. You can alter the way you look at it. You can alter the approach that you have to things that you've done in the past. But you cannot alter the fact that they've been done. Okay. Now, there are people all over the place that believe in time travel. My take on time travel is this. Yes, you can move forward. You can absolutely jump forward. But you cannot jump backwards. Now, of course, the problem with jumping forward is if you jump forward, you're forward, but you can't get back to where you were. So, in the here and now is the only time in existence when you can do something. You can procrastinate. You can start this journey tomorrow, okay, or next week, or 10 minutes down the road. Okay, but even when you do that, you'll be in the here and now when you get, excuse me, that's what's called a hiccup that I didn't get warning of. Like you needed to know that. Yeah, rest assured, if you needed to be told what a hiccup is, there is something you missed. Now, I started, like these, I'm not going to go back over that. I'm just going to change my mind in the middle of it. But if you're not content with where your life is going, this whole concept of you've got to know where your life is heading for in order to be successful. I can tell you wholeheartedly, in my opinion, it could be a little bit more misguided, but I'm not certain how. What I found is if you can identify one thing that you're not content with and start changing the energy around that so that now you're content with what's going on with it. When you eliminate all the things that you're not content with, that you have personal control over, then all you're left with is a world where you're more content. Now, I will tell you, and just think about it for yourself. If you're in a good mood, do you deal better with people when you're in a good mood or when you're in a bad mood? Do you have more tolerance for people when you're happy or when you're already angry? Now, I know the answer to my end. Now, I will tell you this. Everything that I do, everything I talk about, okay, everything, every single thing that I do or that I talk about, you can do as well. Okay, there is nothing you cannot do. There's a lot of things I would not recommend. Okay. And the reality is, do I have a whole pile of proof for you? No, I really don't. Okay. The proof isn't, the reality of that is this. For those of you that believe, no proof is required. For those of you that don't, there may not be any proof possible. Okay. Now, the reason I put it that way is some of you go, I don't believe in this, that, or the other thing. And then something comes along and shows you what's going on. Well, the reality is it wasn't you didn't believe in it. You had no proof that it would work. Well, I'm not here to provide proof. I'm here to tell you this. If you desire your life to change, you're the one that's going to have to do it. Get all the guidance, all the support you can get from everybody around you, but you're the one that's going to have to do the work. Okay. Hence, another one of the books that I'm in the middle of writing. Okay. Because the way I look at it, I can do these videos, and I can list off all the things I've done, and that's great. But they are fleeting, and Lord knows, if I end up with a power failure, or if all of a sudden technology goes out the window, electronic books, electronic information is going to vanish. Okay. Books, on the other hand, the physical ones, will be there. Okay, now I've got a number of videos I'm going to be doing today. Okay, and this is just the reality behind the way my life works. Do I schedule it? Not really. I mean, except for this funny little tool that I use right here. Okay, I've got a list of tasks that I've got done, and that has worked like an absolute charm. Okay, when I said I was working on my health continues to get better, both physical and mental. Okay, thankfully there are some viewers, some of my subscribers have stepped up to the plate and given me information. I don't have it all. That's just the reality of it. I am not the only answer source. But every tool that I use, every time I say something, I do my best to be absolutely dead honest. Okay. Now some of my subscribers have fortunately stepped up and given me some extra tools regarding my health. Okay. And those are being put to use as soon as I can do it. Okay, that really boils down to leaving the house, and being somewhat reclusive becomes a bit of a problem. But if you're not content with the way your life is, the reality is not being content is simple. It's a dis-ease. Now, the ironic part of it all is there's all these medical professionals out there, okay, claiming to be interested in your health. Now, virtually no medication, and I'm an odd case, but you may be able to relate to some of it. Virtually all medication that I've ever worked with hasn't worked properly for me. So, do I trust doctors emphatically? No. Although, on the other hand, I have to relinquish some of my control, some of my fear to deal with some of it. Like, for instance, when I snapped my arm, I had to relinquish my distrust of doctors so that they could actually repair my arm. Because I'll tell you, I don't want a standard painter, or even the best painter in the world, cutting my arm open to reattach the bones. This is just a bad idea. When you desire to change the way your life is going, find people that are qualified. In other words, they've done it successfully before. I don't worry about the paperwork on the back of somebody's name. Okay, those fine little letters, I've got a PhD, I've got an MSB, whatever. I don't know. Okay, I do know that it was put to me this way. If you've got a degree, if you've got letters after your name, that is great. But the only thing it really tells you, or more to the point, the way this gentleman put it to me, and he had several degrees. He goes, look, he says, keep one thing in mind, no matter what the degree is, no matter how many degrees somebody has, all that tells you, in essence, is they had a good memory when they got the degree. Okay, now this does not mean the knowledge went away. Okay, now I keep telling people I'm not an avid reader, and I'm not. But I was talking to a gentleman one day and asked him how to pick up my reading pace, so that I can actually read more efficiently. And his answer was as simple as it was obvious. Okay, and if you think about it, this is the way it always works. Okay, pretty much. If you desire to do something well, to do it more efficiently, do it more often. As he put it, if you desire to pick up your reading pace, read more. It's just that simple. Well, it's like the medical professionals that go, oh, you can't, the old idea of, and the medical professionals, actually, it's more the new medical people coming out that concern me, where they tell you the old idea of eating less will help you lose weight. Well, I will tell you this. That's got to be the absolute biggest load that you can find. Because if you think about it, if you're putting in less calories than you're burning, you're going to drop weight. The key is making certain that the calories you're putting in are more efficient. And this is where people like the one herbalist that I'm now in some conversation with, okay, where people like that individual, and to that person in particular, they know who they are. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I do not use people's names in case you hadn't figured it out. But these professionals that come out with these new little concoctions, buy this concoction because it'll help you. Like one of the most dangerous ones I've seen. Now, I am not a researcher. I'm not a lab tech. There's a lot of things I'm not. Therefore, we have to go with just a simple observational thing on my part. I look at a pill that drops 10 pounds off your weight in a heartbeat. If you're dropping 10 pounds a week, okay, you're losing it too fast. There's going to be problems. I don't know what the problems are, but except one. If you drop that much weight that fast, you're going to have loose skin. And I don't know, if you're not feeling happy about being overweight, I can tell you you're really not going to be happy. And I can tell you this from the number of people I've talked to that have done it. You're not going to be happy in all likelihood with a whole pile of excess skin. Okay, so with that in mind, talk to somebody that has successfully changed the way their life is going. Now, I can tell you, my life used to be an absolute shambles. Right now, my office is actually, aside from a few things on it that I'm working with, is actually working out quite nicely. Net result, my energy level is going up. My understanding of me is going up. My health is certainly improving. Okay, I've been tracking my weight, my blood pressure, the whole 9 yards, and without damaging my own lifestyle. Okay, by simply making alterations that I'm content with, I'm bringing my weight down to where I desire. It's not dropping as fast as I would like, but that is probably a good thing. I'm 58 years old. The idea is very simple. Keep a steady decline. If you're looking at dropping weight, I'm dropping about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week. Okay, I think. I haven't actually calculated it out, but I do know, I just checked this morning and I was down another, it was only 3 days and I'm down another 1/5 of a pound. Well, if I'm down another 1/5 of a pound, and this is a steady decline, then that said, I'd only be down another pound in a week and a half. And that's just simple math. The thing that we have to understand is fear is brought about by dealing with the unknown. Okay. Now, I'm not the one to tell you what you have to believe or what you don't. I'm the one to tell you if you're not content with the way your life is going, it may be based on the fact that you're afraid of something, afraid of loss, afraid of the spotlight. Lord knows the last place I desired to go was into the spotlight. Although that's where I keep getting told, and I'll leave it to your imagination who's telling me what. Okay, but that is the message I came back to bring, which puts me in the spotlight. And there are a number of issues that are being dealt with. Now, I'm going to be doing another video today. I've got to be, because I keep putting it off, and procrastination is great for getting nothing accomplished. Okay, so when you're dealing with your life, today, right here, right now, is when the rest of your life starts. Okay, it's up to you. Are you content with the path your life is on? If the answer is yes, then stay put. If you're not content with the way your life is going, even if it's just a little itty bitty thing, okay, then change it. Like you've noticed me reset my glasses. That's because when they sit down there, I'm not content. Now, you're told that change is painful, change is scary, change is difficult. Well, I'm not content when my glasses slide down here. So, I picked them up, and you notice I didn't scream out in agony, but I did change. The one constant in existence is change. But the only person that can change the direction your life is going is you. Okay, get the support you need that you require from whoever. Okay, doesn't matter. Find a group of people that are willing, that have a similar mindset to you, to what you'd like your mindset to be. If you're an introvert and you'd like to become an extrovert, okay, hang around with people that talk a lot to other people. That's all an extrovert essentially does, is they talk to other people. Okay, now, that said, I keep these to a half-hour mark. I will be back again tomorrow, okay, at some point. But until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.